Sales is very sort of particular. If you increase show rate by 5%, you might close an extra 5K that month. It's even all these small things do add up. I'd say in the first 45 days.
How long would you say it actually took for you to start seeing improvements?
In the first day, whenever we had our first call, we were already strategizing, planning out what we're going to do. I think it was one of the first things you mentioned to me. You were like, we need to, first of all, take you off closing. Second of all, increase your average order value.
What was your average order value before working with me?
$150.
What actual tangible result did you get from working with me?
I wasn't taking closing calls anymore. All the pre-call, all the SOPs, all that sort of stuff that you implemented, obviously saving a lot of time.
Can you introduce yourself and what you do in the B2B industry?
Yes, sir. So I am James. I run Frost Mailer. So we basically have a cold email sort of agency. It's agency / software, and been running it for about a year and a half now.
Talk to me before working with me. What did your sales process look like?
Really just non-existent. We had absolutely nothing. I actually remember whenever we got you in, you're sorry. It was funny because we had zero sales process, and it was just all kind of off the back of nothing. We weren't sending out any pre-calls. I had no frame on the call. I had not even a template to follow on sales calls, nothing like that. And it was just non-existent. Sales process didn't really exist.
And why did it not really exist?
I mean, I just didn't have the knowledge of it. I didn't really know how important it was until you sort of done it for me, and then I obviously saw the results after that. I didn't know how to do it, and also I think even if you did tell me how to do it, I don't think I would have done it right. And obviously, as a business owner, the biggest asset is your time. Your time is extremely valuable. So if I had spent a few hours doing something I didn't even know what I was doing.
What was your average order value before working with me? Because bearing in mind, obviously you sell a SaaS, so it's lower ticket. So what actually was it?
Average order value was about $150.
Right.
So every time I jumped on a call, doesn't matter how long the call was, it could have been an hour long. If I did close that person, they were closing for $150 on average.
Okay, so what made you decide to call me and try and work with me in the first place?
I mean, I knew that you were good at sales, obviously, because I knew you from around. I think at the start, I just wanted some advice. And you asked me the question, you were like, well, I forget exactly what you said, but you were asking me something about the sales process. I was like, well, we don't really have anything, no sales process. And then it was kind of just evident from there that I had to make a change in order to scale even to 50K a month. I had to make some sort of a change, because at the time we were at about 30K a month. I knew that was sort of the cap with what we had.
And you just said there that you felt like there was a cap to where you could have got to. What do you mean by that?
I mean, people weren't showing up, people weren't closing, and if they were closing, they were closing for $150.
Yep.
So I think as the business grew, it didn't make sense for me to keep on taking those calls, because it was such a low leverage thing. Whenever the sales process is broken, we had to fix something. And in my mind anyway, there was sort of a cap there.
Yep.
As if if I had kept on taking those calls, churn would have eventually caught up with itself, because I'm taking calls, closing people for $150, and not many of them were closing anyway.
Yep.
So I feel like there was sort of just a cap there.
So there are many sales consultants, coaches. Why do you think you decided to work with me?
I mean, you really just understood what I was looking for. I think you did understand where I was at in terms of having no sales process. Obviously, you've worked with someone pretty similar before, and actually another cold email agency, and you obviously scaled them up pretty high too. So there was no reason not to go with you.
And obviously you said, you knew that I was good at sales. Was there anything specific about my reputation or content or anything like that that kind of pushed you over the edge?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think, especially because you worked with lead prediction before, another cold email agency, that was a big mover in me actually moving forward with you, because you done so well there. I think it was 30K to 100K a month you scaled them by.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you could do it for them, there's no reason why you couldn't help us.
Yep.
So, I think that was a big reason why.
So you said to me previously, some people weren't showing up, you were closing them at a low ticket, you weren't even closing them at all a lot as well. Talk to me about those specific problems, why actually was that?
I believe the biggest ones were pre-call. Okay. We had zero pre-call. And if there was any emails going out before the call, they were automated Calendly in our emails. There's nothing really valuable. There's no really reason for anyone to show up. So with that, I'm not exactly sure what error, and that's actually another point too. We weren't even tracking anything. I don't even know what my close rate was. I just know it was bad.
Yep.
Or my show rate either. Like I didn't really know what it was. I think the pre-call was a big one, yeah, and average order value too. Like it was extremely low, and we were just doing so much low leverage calls that I think the average order value was the biggest mover in terms of us actually scaling to 50K a month. Because if we had kept it at $150, you know, we wouldn't be there.
No, you'd have to close a lot of people. Yeah. Okay, and what was the biggest obstacle like preventing you from fixing those yourselves? Obviously, I know you said your time, but what were those obstacles?
I think just not even realizing. Like as a business owner, you're taking calls on a day-to-day basis, and you're not even taking a moment to step back and actually looking at what you're doing and like strategizing. You're kind of just going day by day, like you're booking calls, you're taking calls. You don't really know what's going on. You're kind of just in the weeds of it every single day. So I think it's really good to have someone else come in and actually say, right, well, that's not working, obviously, or could be a lot more efficient.
Yep.
And it just takes someone else to even tell you that. You know, you can't really know. It's something that you can't really notice yourself if you're like in the weeds of it every single day. So yeah, I'd say that was just biggest one. Someone else coming in and just taking a step back and looking at everything.
And of course, like very, very quickly, we removed you from calls and we put in a closer. Talk to you about like what that experience was like and the impact it had on your business.
Yeah, big time. So that was an amazing day because I didn't have to take any more calls. And it's not even that I didn't enjoy taking calls, but I just had so much extra time to focus on the business, like focus on booking a lot more calls, you know, focusing on increasing the average order value and increasing offers and stuff like that. Just overall strategy of the business, I could do that a lot more once I wasn't on the calls. So that was a big mover in the business too. Obviously, the closers don't come in day one and start closing, you know, they have to get a bit of like training, they have to know what they're doing. So it helped obviously a lot with that too. I don't think I could have done that, training them up. Definitely freed up a lot of my time, which was good, so I could focus on like higher leverage stuff.
Talk to me about it, because I remember you flew to,
Como.
was it Como?
Yeah.
And then you posted a video about it.
Yeah.
What was that like?
This is actually a great story. So we were in Lake Como for the ASD event. And me, my business partner, I think one of our appointment setters were there too, Sean. We got a text from our closer that night, because obviously we'd outsourced closing like completely at that point. And I got a text from him that night, and he closed a client for 2.4K. Just like as we were sitting down eating dinner in Lake Como. And it was like probably one of the best feelings ever, because he done that all himself. Obviously it was in our business, and I wasn't taking the calls anymore. So it was an amazing feeling, honestly, because I didn't have to, I mean, it wasn't me that done it. And especially because our average order value used to be $150, and then taking it right up to 2.4K just feels a lot better, because I probably would have closed them for $150, $200 maybe. So yeah, that was amazing.
So talk to me about the experience of actually like working with me on like a day-to-day perspective.
It's really good to have someone nearly like a consultant in there too, like on a day-to-day basis. Because if you do ever have a problem, if you have any doubts, you're not sure exactly what to do, it's good to have someone that actually knows what they're talking about, to like even converse with them on a daily basis. So that's a big bonus, like, you know, it's a big plus. Okay,
and how would you actually describe the communication that we had throughout?
I mean, obviously very professional. It was extremely valuable, and like, you know, I could just kind of call you up anytime or shoot you a text anytime, and you'd always pick up. You know, you wouldn't be chatting to someone else. You'd always sort of put me first. You know, so that was very valuable. And then honestly, like, it's good to have someone that has worked in a business similar to mine before, because we start coming up with the same problems. Like, I remember numerous times, like, I'd mention you a problem that we were facing, and you were like, oh yeah, well, that was a problem in one of the businesses I worked in before, especially in like another cold email agency. Whenever you're working with like agencies, the problems come up, like, and they're sort of the same problems in every business. So that was very valuable. You could just sort of, you know, the fix without having to like trial and error.
So how much like time and stress would you say this has saved you and your business?
Good amount. I'd say a good amount. Obviously, the biggest one probably because I wasn't closing, or because I'm not closing. That was obviously a lot of time saved. And then also a lot of time saved in terms of increasing the average order value, having more showed calls, all that sort of stuff. So obviously that saved a lot of time. In terms of stress too, obviously taking sales calls it's not the most easy thing to do.
Nope.
It does come with a lot of stress. And especially when people aren't showing, you can always sort of go to someone like you, sort of a consultant in there too. And you can sort of pass the stress on to you, you know. It's it takes a lot of stress off your hands, I would say.
Yep. So what actual like tangible results did you get from working with me within the first, let's call it 30, 45 days?
So in the first, let's say 45 days, I had completely outsourced closing. So I wasn't taking closing calls anymore, which is obviously already a big bonus, especially when someone else is training them up or when I have the resources to train them up. I'm not doing it myself. Obviously all the pre-call, all the SOPs, all that sort of stuff that you like implemented, that was obviously saving a lot of time. So that was a big thing too. In terms of tangible results, in terms of like revenue, I'd say in the first 45 days, obviously that was nice, especially because I wasn't closing the deals myself. And we had that fully outsourced. So that was really nice, and that I could strategize and do all the other stuff business owner does. It was good, especially to get closing off my hands.
Okay, so how long would you say it actually took for you to start seeing improvements?
I'd say honestly, in the first day, whenever we had our first call, we were already strategizing, we were already planning out what we were going to do. And I think it was one of the first things you mentioned to me. You were like, well, we need to, first of all, take you off closing. Second of all, increase your average order value. So with hearing that in like the first day on our first call, obviously I was excited because I knew that those changes were needed. I just didn't really know how to make those changes, or even, you know, I don't think I would have on day one.
And how quickly did those specific 2 changes get implemented, taking you off calls and increasing the average order value?
That same day, we started looking for closers. And I believe it was 2 or 3 days later, we got our first closer in and started training them up, started getting them used to everything. And a few days after that, they took the first closing call. So everything obviously happened extremely quickly. In terms of the average order value, we started planning out those offers there and then. Obviously that was super helpful. You know, we were planning out the offers and then we actually implemented them then too. So obviously for the next couple of days, whatever, if I did have any calls, I'd implement those myself, like the new offers. So pretty quickly, like it all happens obviously pretty quick, and obviously as everyone knows, speed is very important in business.
So who would you recommend me to?
Honestly, any B2B business that like actively takes enough sales calls. If you're booking even like 2-3 plus sales calls a day, like even if you can increase like anything, any percentage, it's going to make a difference. You know, sales is very sort of particular. You know, if you increase show rate by 5%, you might close an extra 5K that month. You know, so it's even all these small things do add up. So I'd say really any like B2B agency. I think agency can be like or agency would be the most beneficial. You have like SaaS companies actively taking sales calls instead of coaches and consultants.
What would you say to someone on the fence about working with me?
If you're on the fence, you already sort of know that you have a problem with sales, so just go for it. You're never going to look back and say, oh, I regret not improving my sales process. It's a no-brainer, really.
Okay, that's all for me. Thank you, James, for your time. Keep
Anytime. Thanks, man.